Drinkologistt here. It is December, it is Christmas time, and that means only one thing: Puncheon Creme. Yes, some people know it as eggnog and coquito and other variations of it, but if you ask me my favorite, obviously biased, it's Puncheon Creme. See, every year I try to elevate Puncheon Creme in different ways by trying new spirits or flavors or even some techniques. But I asked myself this year, what if I wanted to make the absolute best Puncheon Creme? You see, Puncheon Creme is pretty simple. Some eggs, some limes, spices, evaporated and condensed milk, rum, and bitters. Now, all of those ingredients make a delicious concoction, but what if I took each of those elements and elevated it using techniques and the knowledge that I have about drinks? Would I then be able to create the ultimate Puncheon Creme? Well, let's try it. So the first element we're going to elevate is condensed milk. And we're going to do this by turning it into Dulce de Leche to get caramelized notes in our Puncheon Creme. And it's very simple to do this. I'm going to take my 2 tins of condensed milk and put it into a pot of boiling water. Yes, just like that, in the can, sealed, and just drop them in there. And I'm going to put this on a simmer and leave it for 90 minutes, and that condensed milk is going to turn into Dulce de Leche. Next, we move on to our limes. And traditionally, we use lime zest in our Puncheon Creme to get those citrus oils to cut the freshness of the eggs. So to elevate this though, I want to create a lime Oleo Saccharum. It's a technique we use in the drink world to get more of the citrus oils from those limes, and I think it will work wonderful. And don't worry, it's very simple. We basically take 3 limes and we peel them to get the peels and try to get as little pits as possible, the white part of the peel. And we basically take our peels and put them into a container, and we add about a 1/4 cup of sugar, just plain sugar, to it. And what that sugar is going to do is, over about ½ hour to an hour, it's going to extract all of those lime oils from the peels, and it's going to create this syrupy liquid concentrate with that lime flavor that I think is going to work amazing in our Puncheon Creme recipe. Now we're talking about our evaporated milk and our spices, and usually we only use nutmeg where we freshly grated on top. For Puncheon Creme, we get that wonderful aroma and that punchy nutmeg flavor throughout, and we're still going to do that. But I thought I could elevate the Puncheon Creme by adding in some additional spices in the form of cinnamon and star anise. And to be able to really get these flavors to come through, I'm going to infuse it into our evaporated milk here, just by steeping it for about 30 minutes or so, but it's going to add so much more dimension to our Puncheon Creme. Now let's talk about spirits, my favorite section. Now, traditionally, rum is used as the base for Puncheon Creme, whether that be white rum or dark rum. People usually choose a rum to just give it that alcoholic bite. But for me, that is where it is. I can play with so many flavors that I have to choose a combination of spirits from the ultimate Puncheon Creme. So let me explain. Basically, I'm using Zaya Gran Reserva. It is a rum from Trinidad and Tobago as my base rum for this. And the reason why is that this rum is just known as a vanilla rum. You're going to get a lot of those vanilla notes, which obviously is going to play terrific in that Puncheon Creme. So I'm using 12 ounces as the base for that rum. Then the great thing about rum is that there's so many flavors that we can play with. And for me, I have to be able to use some funkiness from Jamaican rum. So I'm using some Appleton Estate 8-year-old, and I'm going to add about 2 ounces of that to my rum blend. Then something I picked up a couple years ago that I absolutely love using in my Puncheon Creme is sherry, and this is a Pedro Jimenez nectar sherry. It's very sweet, but it's going to give all those dark fruit notes, and it almost reminds you of like having some black cake in your Puncheon Creme. And I'm going to add about 2 ounces of that as well to just round off some of those rum. And then for the culture, because people elder than me told me that you cannot have Puncheon Creme without punching overproof rum from Trinidad and Tobago, so a capful. to satisfy those. But that is going to be the base of the spirits for the ultimate Puncheon Creme. And now I'm just separating my eggs because I only want to use the egg yolks themselves. Tedious process. And for this recipe, I'm going to use 8 egg yolks. Okay, I have my 8 egg yolks in my bowl, and I'm going to start adding ingredients. So I have my lime Oleo Saccharum, which has turned into this beautiful syrup packed with that lime flavor. It is very intense, and I'm going to throw in all of the rest of the sugar and peels and everything in there to blend up with this. That is really good. Then I have my condensed milk that I boiled for 90 minutes to turn into that beautiful Dulce de Leche. Yes, all of this caramel notes. For all of the fans of condensed milk and eating it straight from the tin, this will change your life by getting that texture. As you can see, that brown caramel type notes. It is going to work so wonderful. I'm most excited for this element than any other one. It would be criminal to not lick this spoon, right? Wow. Next, I'm going to add my infused evaporated milk with the cinnamon and star anise. Then I'm just going to blend up this mixture for about 30 seconds to a minute just to infuse all of those flavors together. I have strained my mixture and I've placed it in a Ziploc bag because I'm ready for my next step of elevation, which is to sous vide it. Yes, a sous vide is just a water bath that I'm going to be able to keep this liquid mixture at about 145 degrees for about an hour. And the reason I'm going to do this is that this is going to pasteurize the eggs. It's going to make it safe for consumption and aging, but also it's going to give it this velvety custard-like texture that is going to elevate our Puncheon Creme incredibly. So I'm just going to place it in here and leave it for an hour, and we're going to have that amazing, amazing step for our Puncheon Creme. Okay, just removing it from our sous vide into an ice bath to stop the cooking, and that should be our pasteurization done. Okay, after all of these steps, I finally have my Puncheon Creme base. And now I'm ready to add the finishing elevated touches. So I'm going to add my bitters. Obviously, I need some aromatic bitters, so I'm using Angostura to about 30 dashes, I think, and because I like a lot of bitters. You're just going to be careful with your bitters bottles. That's about 30. And then to elevate that, I would like to add some Angostura cocoa bitters, and obviously that cocoa is going to work wonderfully with the rest of flavors we have in here. So I'm going to add about maybe 15 or so. The cocoa bitters is a bit stronger, so I don't want it to overwhelm it. And then I also want to add some saline solution. Now this is just 20% salt in water, and the idea is that you always want to add this to your drinks to brighten up the flavors, everything that's there. So I add about 10 drops. Yes. I'm going to give that a little bit of a mix. Blend it up. Now I have my rum blend with the Trinidad rum, Jamaican rum, and the sherry that I'm going to be adding as I continue to blend. And lastly, I'm going to add just an 1/8 of a teaspoon of some xanthan gum. And that's going to provide some more stability and also prevents our Puncheon Creme from separating at all. So while I blend this, I'm just going to throw in just a tiny touch of it. And last but not least, some freshly grated nutmeg just to put into the Puncheon Creme, give it that wonderful aroma that I love from Puncheon Creme, and then we should finally have it. One final stir. And there we have it, the ultimate Puncheon Creme. Now, obviously I have to give this a taste, so I'm going to grab a glass and try it with you. Bottled and ready. So let's see. Our first taste of the ultimate Puncheon Creme. I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is flowing velvety. Wow. That is very, very nice. Okay, just a little bit more nutmeg on top of the aromatics. And there you go. The ultimate Puncheon creme. First taste. Oh wow. I think that actually is the absolute best Puncheon creme I've ever had in my life. I'm not even like, this is my first time trying this recipe, trying to do these elements. This is the most full body. I think sous videing that mixture brought out that velvety texture. It is so filling. But then also too, you know, that I'm getting so much of the caramel that we made in the Dulce de Leche. And then I can get also now, those spices are still there. I still get nutmeg mostly, which is good, but I can feel that faint cinnamon, almost horchata-like, and then the star anise, and wow, this thing's there. And you know what I love too? The same thing, like the rums, it is not big and bold and taking this thing over, but it was really getting it is that sherry. Again, those dark fruit type notes. It's very, you've tasted a really a lot afterwards. After you get past a lot of the sweetness, this thing is very sweet. Not sickeningly so, but just very custard-like. Oh my gosh. Oh, I implore you. This thing took a long time to make, yes. But was it worth the effort? Definitely yes. Yeah, happy holidays. Please, if you do dare to try it as Puncheon creme. And if you think you have a better Puncheon creme, let me know. Cheers.